Yeah, hi everyone, good evening. Welcome back. Yeah, good evening. A quick attendance. Let's see if everyone is here. Yeah. 2.0, 1.0, both are here. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Yeah. Bahubali. Yeah, so Bahubali is not there in ancient India. Are you kidding or you're seriously asking? Okay, so the time has come to start our first chapter, Medieval India. So now, so we should call it lecture number 2, but preferably we should call this as lecture number 1 only. Right? And the last lecture should be called as lecture number 0. So I think team has placed that in ancient India itself. Reason most of the time we have spent in ancient India. But those of you who are starting medieval India, so ancient India last lecture we have discussed. Ancient India last lecture. Right? So those who are starting medieval, maybe if you have not studied ancient, in that case, ancient, go to ancient lecture, ancient course, and go to lecture number the last one. I think lecture number 27, right? 27. And there we have discussed ancient India in a quick kind of a crash course, right? So ancient India crash course. If you have not seen ancient India, attended ancient India, then maybe a quick crash course will help you, and then you can start medieval if you have not studied ancient. And other than that, also strategy for medieval had been discussed there, right? So strategy is also there. Yeah. So two things you'll find in that course if you have not attended the last lecture, if you have not completed ancient India for that, right? Okay. Let's get back. So basically, before we start, somebody give the test. So Titan students, Aditya is our topper. Aditya 93.4, Saiteja Tipris 93.4. Both same. Sunita Singh 92.06, Shyam Narayan Yadav 90.74, Shraddha Chauhan 86.74, Shakti Sahu is the topper. Good. Shakti Sahu is a repeat topper if I'm not wrong. So 82.74, Foolchand 78.76, Mayuri Nishad is 77.44, Tanish Arora is 77.4, Om Singh is 75.38. I have the result of your Titan 1.0 batch. Right, Titan 2.0 result is awaited, and as far as I understand, you must have seen the result. But anyway, if I have the result, I'll also I will also have the names over here. Last time I didn't. So last time maybe I missed it or maybe I didn't get it. Right, but today just now I got this list, so I thought that we should start from this. And you guys are doing great. Aditya, good job. Sateja, Tipris, Sunny Singh, all the toppers, good job. Congratulations. And also last week's topper, congratulations. Right, and I hope you will keep on doing this. Okay. So let's get back to our discussion. We are going to start medieval India. So we'll start with post-Gupta era. We are starting from roughly at 600, starting from 600 BC. So let us see how the timeline will look. So our first target is from 600. Yeah, our first target is 600 to 1200. Right, this is our first target in medieval India. Right. Then we will divide this in 3 zones. Zone A, again only for the academic purpose, zone A 600 to 750, zone B 750 to 1000, and zone C automatically becomes 1000 to 1200. Now I'm not going to discuss what is here. Today we are going to talk about the 600 to 750 zone. Right? We are going to discuss this part. Now this part technically has 3 main empires. First is Harshavardhan. Right? Second is Chalukyas, and third one is Pallavas. Right, so our first target is this part. The first target is technically Harshavardhan. We need to understand our last great Hindu king, as he's called, the last great Hindu king. Right, he is Harshavardhan. करंट अफेयर की क्लास नहीं हो रही है, आई एम नॉट श्योर. करंट अफेयर की क्लास क्यों नहीं हो रही? डेली तो होती है करंट अफेयर की क्लास. किसने का करंट अफेयर की क्लास नहीं होती? ओके ओके, आई एम नॉट अवेयर गाइस. जो है नहीं होती. जस्ट अ सेकंड. Guys, I got the list of Titan 2.0 as well, so I'm really sorry I'm not placing it here. But let me tell you who are the Titan 2.0 performers, top performers. Kanika Sharma, Abhidesh Kumar. Kanika Sharma is 85.42. Abhidesh Kumar is 83.42. Zareen Ansari 73.4. Abhishek Kumar 71.4. Pranjal Pandey 70.08. Ayush Bharadwaj 68.74. Sudeepta Soumya is 68.08. Gauri B is 66.74. Deepraj Day is 65.4. Deepshika 64.7. Okay, congratulations, good job guys. Right, and try to increase your score. Right, already Sankalp Titan 1.0 is scoring like 93 something. Topper of the other batches at 80 somewhere, right? And so need to buck up and need to come on track as soon as possible. Okay, let's start. 3 weeks नहीं हुई. Okay, though I have asked this message, I was not aware about this. I've asked this message. Let them come back on this, right? And we'll let you know. Okay. So let's start our discussion. Let's focus on our content. Okay, great. Okay. So it works. So now, Harshavardhan. So basically, let's focus on the Northern Empire. Again, in medieval, there are lots and lots of dynasties. Right? There are so many dynasties. So it will not be possible to go into each game, each dynasty, and discuss that. It will not at all be feasible. It is not practical as well. Also, if we start discussing everybody in the class, then we will not be able to emphasize on the dynasty which is important, right? Where we expect questions, right? So the dynasties from where I expect questions from or which are important, right? We will be having a deep discussion about them. For example, like Harshavardhan, right? Chalukyas, Pallavas. We will be discussing more about them. But there are a lot of dynasties, apart from Harshavardhan. For example, Harshavardhan will have some feudatories. After Gupta, there will be a vacuum period. So there will be some 3-4 more empires, which will have some, you can say, basic discussion about them. Yeah, this king is important, or basically they are known for this part, important characteristics, etc. Right, so basically our discussion will be like will be in two parts. In any era, in any time period, we'll talk about the important ones. Right? We'll have like as far as possible, as much detail possible. We'll have a discussion about the important dynasties. Right? But then there are secondary dynasties. For example, later Guptas, right? Not Guptas, later Guptas. So as the name suggests, there later Guptas not very, very important, right? See, the question, the thing is, it is not the case that UPSC can't ask from this sphere. Right? Definitely UPSC can ask from here as well. There is no rule, there is no understanding between us and UPSC that they will not touch this. But still, these are secondary dynasties, small kingdoms, very, very small kingdoms, not much relevance. So I have added a lot of things about them in the content. Right? It's there in this slide. But still, we'll have basic discussion about them, introduction about them in the class. And then it will be your, you can say your homework to read these slides and get as much possible. Don't chase them. Don't be like, I have to very religiously follow them. So we don't have to be very much religious here over here. But at least which time frame related to what, any famous king, any miscellaneous fact about them, you should know. Right? That is the only use case of secondary dynasties. Right? I tell you which dynasty is a secondary dynasty. For example, in this time zone, these three are primary. Right? These three are important dynasties. Other are all secondary dynasties. Right? And there will be like 4 5 secondary dynasties in this case. Okay, so let's start our discussion. We'll start with Harshvardhan. So now after Gupta Empire, we'll find that because Gupta was not a very centralized, strong empire, if you remember. Right? We know that Gupta was very much, you can say, troubled by Huns over here. Right, Hunas. So first of all, they were troubled by Hunas. We remember only two names actually we discussed. One was Toramana and another was Mihirakul. And he said that Mihirakul is technically iconoclast. Somebody who is against the established practices, established sect, established philosophy, established thought. Right, so he is that person who basically destroys temples, so basically who destroys, you can say, monasteries and all. So such kind of person was Mihirakul. So not at all a great dynasty, or not the dynasty which looks like the ancient dynasty or the dynasty which believes into religious tolerance. So there is nothing like religious tolerance over here. And they are technically against Buddhism. Right, in particular. Right, so Hunas. The first thing was Huns was actually troubling Gupta Empire and was one of the major reasons behind the decline of the Gupta Empire. Second thing we understand that Gupta was a very, very decentralized empire. Remember, Gupta was ruling via, there was a core part, and then everything else was under feudal lords. A lot of feudal lords were there. Also, we understand that the economy was declining. Right, so they will not be able to carry forward for a very, very long time. They will not be able to sustain for a very, very long time, and they will start breaking up. They will start deteriorating. And when they are weak, definitely the feudal lords which are strong, they will say that, sir, I am independent now. I am not your feudal lord anymore. I have my own kingdom to look after. I will not obey you. I don't accept your suzerainty. So definitely these feudal lords, a lot of them will say, Azadi, independence. Right, and we are independent, not autonomous. We are independent. We are not under you anymore. Right, so that will be the case. And this Gupta Empire will split into technically 4 main kingdoms. So one is towards Pataliputra. They are later Guptas. Right, then at Mathura, or Kannauj, you should say, at Kannauj we have Maukharis. Then at Thaneshwar we have Pushyabhutis, or we can also call them Vardhans. Right, and there is one important kingdom over here which is Maitrakas. Right, these 4 are important. Other than there are more. Like for example, in Assam we have Varmans. Right, then in Bengal we have a small kingdom of God. Right, so like that we have these small kingdoms as well. So these 4 are technically important. One is Matrakas. Capital is Vallavi. So Matrakas are at Vallavi. Right, Vallavi is very, very important center. We'll discuss it. Like similarly, Maukhari's important center is Kannauj. Later Gupta's important center is Pataliputra, which is losing all its importance now. Pataliputra. Right, and Pushyabhuti, their capital is Thaneshwar. Somewhere it is written like Thaneshwar. That is also correct. Thaneshwar, all that same. Right, so these 4 are basically the aftermath of the Gupta Empire. Now, we understand that Gupta Empire, we were discussing that Gupta Empire starts from roughly 300 and ends at 600. No. Remember, we said that no, it's not exactly 600. The decline, or basically the end is around 550. Right, the end is around 550. The last Gupta ruler which is ruling, he will be there. He will exist till roughly 550 AD, 550 CE. But you will find that even before this 550, even before, sometimes before 500 or roughly around 500, this is the scene which we are going to observe. Right, it's not like at 550 it is going to break. No, it will break even before 550. Are you getting a point? It is breaking in the time of Guptas. Towards the end, towards 500 CE, right, this deterioration will happen. They will start to break into their feudal kingdoms. Why? Because the Gupta kings will not be able to handle. Kings will not be able to just sustain them back. So this is the break which we are getting over here. Now let's see how it looks like on the map. So see, this is 590, right? This is close to 600, but till this point, these kingdoms have already established itself. See Matrakas. Right, Matrakas. This is Vallavi. This is Matrakas. Right, again Thaneshwar. This is Thaneshwar. These are Pushyabhutis. Here Kannauj. This one is Mathura. Right, this is Maukhari. And now later Gupta, sometimes expanding, sometimes contracting. So these are concentrated at Pataliputra. Similarly, in Assam there is Varman. Right, and in South India, now we are not going to discuss right now, but in South India we'll see that Chalukyas are getting important, getting stronger, and Pallavas too. So Chalukyas and Pallavas. Chalukyas' important center is Badami, and right now we are just introducing Badami. And Pallavas, their capital is Kanchipuram. So Kanchipuram, Pallavas at Kanchipuram. And then there is one more very, very small minor kingdom that is Pandyas. Pandyas is minor, Varman is minor. Somewhere here you'll find God. These are minors. Right, here again a small kingdom, Kalachuri, minor. Right, so this is something which we'll observe, right? Okay, so now the Gupta Empire mainly breaks into Guptas, later Guptas, Maukharis, Matrakas, Pushyabhutis. Okay, so this is 550. See, 550 they are already there. So by 550 they have already established. So let's pick one and start discussing. Let's start from late Guptas. Right, late Guptas. This is our first dynasty, again a minor dynasty. Right, minor dynasty, secondary dynasty. So now, so later Guptas. Now later Guptas are technically not Guptas, right? Their name is Gupta. They are using this title Gupta, but actually they're not Gupta. They're saying they're using the suffix Gupta, caste Gupta, so as to show that legitimacy, to show to the people or to show to everyone that we are also Guptas, right? We are as big, or basically, at least the name is same Gupta only, right? So it creates confusion later on. But here at this point, they are definitely using this term only for the sake of legitimacy. Founder over here is Krishna Gupta. Krishna Gupta, founder. Now in minor dynasty, we will be first of all worried about the founders. We should know the founders, right? So Krishna Gupta is the founder, right? And any miscellaneous contribution. At least founder is something which we will keep a tab. Okay, the founders. Now there are a lot of later Gupta kings, but few I want to show over here. So Krishna Gupta, as I said, now this is not important. These years are not important, but something which we can derive from here, right? And otherwise it is not important. Now Krishna Gupta, as I said, he's important because he's your founder of these later Guptas. Capital, sir, what is capital? Capital is Pataliputra. Pataliputra. Right? They are operating from Pataliputra. Is Pataliputra a great town over right now? No, it is not at all a great town. It is declining. There was a time when Pataliputra used to be, you can say, a main trading center, very important point, right? Very important seat of power as well. But right now, no. Right now, Pataliputra is in the state of decline. Right? It is in the state of shambles. Right now, again, so you realize that starting point is not even 500. It is 490. So Gupta Empire, original Gupta Empire is so weak that the later Guptas are there. Even you can say they are contemporary of Guptas. The main Gupta Empire must be existing somewhere. Right? The main dynasty is still there, where Krishna Gupta must have started, humble start, a small kingdom, very small kingdom from where they will grow. Right, so Krishna Gupta. He's your founder. That is important. Second thing is Kumar Gupta. So at 550, roughly at 550, where we consider end of Guptas, original Guptas. Right now, the name is Kumar Gupta. Why I'm telling this? Because this might be confusing. Because we read Kumar Gupta in main Guptas as well, but that was like 400 years ago, more than 400 years ago. So this Kumar Gupta is not same as the Kumar Gupta we had seen in the main Gupta Empire. It's a different Kumar Gupta. That is the reason I'm mentioning over here. Otherwise, he's also not important, not contributed anything. Now, the other person who is important in them is Aditya Sena. Why? Aditya Sena, he made this Avsar inscription. This is close to Patna. This is in Bihar. Avsar inscription. Now, in Avsar inscription, he has mentioned all of them. He spoke about everyone, and that is how we know about them. Right after him, Vishnu Gupta, Jivita Gupta, we hardly have any information. Right, so because of this Avsar Bihar inscription of Aditya Sena, we have their genealogy, we have the understanding what was the dynasty, who was the founder, and then who followed, etc. We have that understanding because of this Avsar inscription. So Krishna Gupta, as you see, Krishna Gupta is the founder. He must be, of course, obviously, he must be the feudatory of the imperial Gupta. So this is a good way to represent the previous Guptas, imperial Guptas. Now, why Gupta? Why they are calling themselves Gupta? Reason, legitimacy. Yeah, let's move forward to later Guptas. So Avsar inscription of Aditya Sena, this is one of the most important inscriptions. Right. Other than that, there is one more, Deo Bernark. Again, not very important. Okay, we have seen, but not important to register. It's okay. If you can recognize, that is good enough. Okay, now second is Matrakas of Vallavi. Matrakas of Vallavi. Now we are going to talk about Matrakas. Matrakas of Vallavi. Now first again, founder. Founder is Senapati Bhatarka. Right, only important thing about late Guptas is founder Krishna Gupta and the Avsar inscription. Right, if you can make a mind map like this in one map where you can mention late Guptas, say capital is Pataliputra, and 2-3 things whatever you want to write about late Guptas, that is good enough. Right, and now let's move forward, talk about Matrakas. So Matrakas. Now again, if you realize, it is Senapati Bhatarka. Again, he was a feudal lord of the main Guptas. Right? Important center is Vallabhi. One more thing. The starting point is 470 AD. So you can again see that close to 500, before even 500, right? The main Gupta, imperial Guptas, the empire is gone. Right? And later Guptas has started. Obviously, Krishna Gupta has founded his own kingdom. Senapati Bhatarka is finding his own kingdom. So now we have a Matrakas of Vallabhi. Right? Vallabhi kingdom. Now this is very important. There is one more thing. This is Iran stone pillar inscription. Right? This is in Iran. So now in this inscription, we get to know that there is a fight. There is a fight between Bhanugupta, which is main Gupta or imperial Gupta. So they tried to exert their force. They tried to tell no, sir, you are my feudatory. Right, so this war has happened, right? They tried. The imperial Guptas tried. This separation should not happen. They tried to control their feudatory lord. But you can understand, we don't even know who is Bhanugupta, right? What time he exists. He roughly starts his reign at 510 CE, right? But till when we don't have any idea. Are you getting my point? So now imperial Guptas have lost their shine. Some mention of their war as well. They tried to exert power on Matrakas, on Vallabhi, because Vallabhi is important. Right? Vallabhi is very important. So let's understand Matrakas. Right? And let's talk about Vallabhi over here. Vallabhi, this point. Vallabhi. See, Vallabhi is first of all important because it's a commercial center. Right? It's a port. And a very famous port. It's a very fine or very famous commercial center. A lot of trade is happening over here. So definitely Bhanugupta or basically imperial Guptas could not afford to lose this. And that was the reason they tried to get back. That was the reason this war is happening. Right? Bhanugupta lost. Bhanugupta could not actually control. Otherwise this kingdom will not exist. But yes. So this is how this kingdom has started. And Vallabhi, the first thing we get to know about Vallabhi, it's a trading center, it's a port, and that is the reason it is important for any kingdom. Right? So Bhanugupta will feel that. So Vallabhi is the capital, and the first part we understand that it's a trading point, it's a flourishing commerce center, and we should not leave it. Right? Here also you see they also have similar coins. Right? Coins is similar to. Can anybody say this? What? Coin is similar to, again, Western Kshatraps. Do you remember Western Kshatraps? Nahapana, Rudradaman. Right? So the coin of the minting style we see, it is similar to what we have seen during the time of Nahapana. If you remember, the coins of Nahapana which were restruck by Gautamiputra Satkarni. Those who are studying medieval only, those are starting from here. Maybe they will not get it, but it's okay when you read ancient you get to know. So Gautamiputra Satkarni restruck those coins. Right? Rudradaman had similar coins. So this minting technique, this style is basically of the Western Kshatraps. Right? And this style is being continued. This minting style is being continued. But the good thing over here, the change over here is that here the legend being used, the writing being used is Brahmi. Right, it's a Brahmi. Second, trident. So here you find trident. Trident is Trishul. Trishul is technically related to Vedic. So that shows that this kingdom, Matraka's kingdom, are also associated with Vedic religion. Now again, in Gupta Empire, we saw rise of Brahmanism. We saw that the Vedic rituals, or let's not say Vedic rituals, let's say the Brahmanical rituals or the Brahmanical religion is back, right? And now we must understand by this coin that this kingdom must be supporting Brahmanism. Right? That is the reason they are showing Trishul to us, trident, right? Trident over here. So the coin is Western Scepter type, right? Plus Brahmi is being used, and trident somewhere signifies that it must be supporting to Brahmanical religion, but only Brahmanical religion. That's the question. Are they supporting only Brahmanical religion? Right? This is something we need to find out, because this will define a lot of things. This is something, this is the reason we are discussing Matrakas. Okay. Another point which is written over here, we'll understand that Vallabhi is a great learning center as well. Great learning center. Right. So now Matrakas are also associated with establishing of Vallabhi University, or you can say monastery. So Vallabhi monastery. Now this is the Buddhist monastery associated with the Hinayana Buddhism. Oh, so this tells us that it is not only, Matraka kingdom is not only about Brahmanism. Right? It is not only about Brahmanism. State. Now we saw trident in a coin, which means that the king, if here we find a trident, that means that the king must be follower of Shiv, Shaivite. Right? Because those who don't know, Shiv has Trishul, right? Shiv has trident. Right? So now, so if we see trident in the coin, that shows that they must be follower of Shiv, or Shiv will dominate in the dynasty side. It's not like all the kings will worship Shiv, but most of the kings dominate. Shaivism will dominate. There will be other religion as well, but Shaivism will dominate. So anyway, so we are understanding that it is not only Brahmanical side, but there is a monastery, there is a Vallabhi monastery, Vallabhi University, which is the center of Hinayana Buddhism, and it is a great learning center. It's a Vallabhi University. Right? Other than that, Vallabhi, I don't know if this ring the bell in your mind, right? Vallabhi close to 512 AD. That means it was Matrakas only. Matrakas, right? When Jain Council happened, right? Second Jain Council and Shwetambar books, Shwetambar traditions, obviously Shwetambar traditions, because the Gambars didn't follow any of the Jain councils. Both the Jain councils are rejected by them. Oh, so that means Matrakas are basically into all the three, right? We have a great evidence supporting that. We have evidence supporting that they are the follower of Shiva as well. Second, Vallabhi monastery, Vallabhi University shows that they patronize or they support Hinayana Buddhism as well. So they support Hinayana Buddhism, or basically they support Buddhism as well. So this state is supporting Buddhism as well. And third, if the state is conducting this Jain council, that means all the three religions are flourishing over here. The state is with all the three religions, but the heart is towards Brahmanical, because in the coin, right, they are being supported. The other two religions are being supported, but the state itself, the king himself is supporting Shaivism or Brahmanism. So definitely the bigger space will be with the Brahmanism because of main support from the king. Right, so these are two important elements of Matrakas. Right, we realize what till now we saw that all the three religions are here. Founder is Senapati Matarka. Right, roughly before 500, that is good enough. Close to 470 CE, year is not important. But right now when you are making this mind map, you should know. Okay. So because they are mostly Shaivite, so we will see that they will also take titles like Param Maheshwara. Again, it's not like all the kings, right? If UPSC says all the kings are Shaivites, then you have to question. It is not possible. There will be somebody in so many kings who will say, I don't follow this religion, or maybe I don't follow Shiva, I follow Sun, or maybe I follow Vishnu, right? That kind of, anomalies will be there. It is not like everybody will be Param Maheshwara, but kings mostly will take this title of Param Maheshwara. So Param Maheshwara title. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's see if we can find any important king as well. So Vallabhi, we have discussed importance of Vallabhi and all the three religions we have discussed. Plus we found coins which is similar to your Western Chhatraps, right? Founder is Bhadraka. Okay. Now after Bhadraka, another king which is important is Dhruva Sena I. Now Dhruva Sena I is defeated by Yashodharman of Malwa. Now important, not very important, but still let me place this. So we are talking about Dhruva Sena I. So first of all, in the south, there is the end of, or the last leg of Vakatakas. And right now, here, the king is Harisena. Now, Harisena will defeat Dhruva Sena and they will have a matrimonial alliance. And Dhruva Sena will marry Chandralekha. So after this matrimonial alliance, Dhruva Sena will be married to the daughter of Harisena, Chandralekha. So technically, Dhruva Sena is now allied with Harisena. Now, Chandralekha has Jain inclination, and technically it is Chandralekha who will conduct, with the help of his husband, who will conduct the Jain council. So, first part, the Jain council. Right. Also, there is an angle where there is one more king at Ujjain, Malwa, who is getting powerful, who has defeated Dhruva Sena. So Yashovarman of Malwa, right? Yashovarman of Malwa had defeated him. So that is the reason for some time Dhruva Sena will become his feudatory. He will accept, sir, you are the lord, right? I will remain under you, right? I will be your feudal lord. So for some time Matrakas were under the Yashovarman of Malwa, right? So here we have another king, Yashovarman, right? So he will defeat Dhruva Sena. Defeated. So with Dhruva Sena, these two things are associated. One is his defeat by Yashovarman, and second his matrimonial alliance with Harisena. Okay. Next important thing about him is Dhruva Sena is not a Shaivite. He is a worshipper of Vishnu. Right. So as I told you, not everyone will be worshipping Jai Shiv. Right. He's a worshipper of Vishnu. Okay. The last king important over here is, so we have seen his Jai thing. Vallabhi University we already discussed. Vallabhi University, Hinayana Buddhism and all. So later on, there are two famous travelers. Huensang, we were discussing Huensang today, right? Huensang, and later on Itsing. So Huensang and Itsing both have visited this university, and both have described that university is in good condition. It's a good, you can say, learning center, a very famous learning center. Okay, so later on the bonds and all will destroy this. Now the last important king of Matrakas is Dhruva Sena II. Now why he is important? He is important because he is son-in-law of Harshvardhan. Right? Only important thing about him is that he is the son-in-law of Harshvardhan. So Harsha will defeat him, and then he will have a matrimonial alliance with him. Right? Only important thing. So yes, so this whole dynasty becomes important when Dhruv Sena II marries the daughter of Harshavardhan. Right? So he has taken this title Baladitya. Baladitya. So now Baladitya is rising sun. Again, we see some connection to sun. Not sure. Second, he's also a well-learned person, and the last important thing is he is the son-in-law of Harshvardhan. Now, when Harshvardhan will conduct his assembly, right? He will conduct this assembly at Prayagraj, Allahabad, right? So there's a huge procession. And so when some father-in-law conducts some huge festival, son-in-law has to go, right? Yeah, so son-in-law will go to his sasural, to his father-in-law. This is normal. But now again going to Prayag assembly, this becomes the news. So yes, he has gone to the assembly conducted by Harsha at Prayag. Right? Let's conclude. Coins and all we have already discussed. So let's conclude. Right? Again. So we discussed that the coin is of Western Kshatriya, and we realized that the coin itself says that the kings are supporter of Shaivism. Second, we also realized that it is not only Brahmanical religion, though state-wise they promote or they support Brahmanism, but otherwise the center is also known for Vallabhi University, Vallabhi Monastery, which is a center of Himalayan Buddhism learning. That's a great learning center, very very famous. Other than that, Jain Council also happened in this era. Right? Jain Council happened under Dhruv Sena I. So Jain Council, the time is of Dhruv Sena I. Dhruv Sena I. We realized that his wife Chandralekha is the one who is actually looking into this business. Chandralekha. Right? And the last important thing which we discussed, we can. And the last important thing which we got to know is your Dhruv Sena II. Dhruv Sena II. Dhruv Sena II. Who is son-in-law of Harshvardhan. He was also defeated by Harsha. Plus, when he conducts assembly, right, son-in-law is bound to go. He has no other option. Prayag assembly, some fest. So he had gone to this assembly. Right. Other than that, he also takes this title of Baladitya. Baladitya, rising sun. Right, Baladitya. Right, so this might not be good enough. If you can make something like this in one page, it will be good enough for your Matrakas. Right, so Matrakas you can revise from here. Let's move forward to Matrakas. Right, again three important things. One is the founder Bhattarka. Second one is Dhruv Sena I, married to Chandralekha, Jain Council, and third one is Dhruv Sena II, daughter son-in-law of Harshvardhan. Right, only three are important. Rest is Vallabhi University, etc. Okay, so let's move to the next kingdom. By the way, Modi government was talking about it was in news a lot during 1920s. Right, this article is 2017 actually. Right, so yes, but this was in discussion for a very very long time. Not much movement till now, but yes, they were talking that they will revive Vallabhi University. Anyway, Nalanda University was anyway revived. Right, Nalanda University already revived. You already, if you Google Nalanda University, you'll find the actual current today's university working. Right, Amartya Sen and all were also associated with Nalanda University. So now Vallabhi University not that much movement, but Vallabhi University was decided after Nalanda University was being revived. Right, so maybe we'll see some movement over here. Right, but yes, let's go ahead. Now let's talk about religion. We have already seen, so let's move ahead. Yeah. Again, Matrakas will continue for long, right? It's not only the story ends over here. Till now, we have seen till Dhruv Sena II, right? Baladitya. The era is 640, or basically till 644. Again, it is not accurate. 640 is not exact, but so roughly around 640 to 644. But let me place one more thing. Yeah. So technically, we have to start from 600, right? So era of Harshvardhan is from 606 to 647, right? Again, for our understanding, we can keep it like 600 to 650. So 600 to 650 is roughly Harshvardhan. It is very very easy to retain. Harshvardhan. So now why I'm telling this? So that we can understand who all are contemporary of Harshvardhan. That is the only intent over here. Right? So Harshvardhan is from 600 to 650. So everything which happened, you can say all the founding and all the founding of Vardhan, all the founding of Matrakas, all the founding of you can say the establishment of later Guptas, all will happen roughly from 500. So between 500 to 600, establishment of Matrakas will happen. Your later Guptas will happen. Even Vardhans will happen. Vardhan plus even Mokharis it will happen. So let's discuss Mokharis now. So this year is important, 600 to 650. To be precise, it is 606 to 647 somewhere. Right, 606 to 647, roughly 41 years of rule. Right, 41-year rule. It's a very big rule. And Dhruv Sena II, now you know, is his contemporary. Dhruv Sena II. Dhruv Sena II is his daughter's husband. Dhruv Sena II. At a lot of places, he's called as Dhruv Bhatta. Right, both are same. Right, Dhruv Sena, Dhruv Bhatta, both are correct. And Dhruv Bhatta. So if it's especially in Tamil Nadu and CRTV, they have mentioned Dhruv Bhatta. Right, even in these sites also at some places are written Dhruv Bhatta. Right, both are same. Dhruv Sena, Dhruv Bhatta, both are correct. Right, it's more like calling the same person with some, you can say the native connotation. Bhatta is more like giving respect or something. So Dhruv Sena II is the son-in-law of Harshvardhan and contemporary of Harshvardhan. Okay, let's talk about Mokharis now. Mokharis. No, Mokharis are at Kannauj. So Mokharis are at Kannauj. Now Kannauj is new Patna, right? Kannauj is becoming powerful. Kannauj is becoming powerful and eventually replace Patna. There are multiple reasons behind it. First of all, agriculture-wise, it's a very, very rich region. That is one thing. Second, the new type of fortification, right? The new type of fortification needs some kind of upland. Not plains. This is complete plain. Right? The new kind of fortification or the fortification, the high walls and all, right? They need some kind of upland, some kind of raised area, and Kanyakumji provides such kind of area. So Kannauj provides. So Kanyakumji is technically Kannauj. Kanyakumji, both are same. So Kannauj is becoming a new Patna, right? It's becoming, you can say something like Patliputra now. It's a new urban center, new trade point, plus very very secure, and everybody will try to place or basically take up Kannauj. Right? So Mokharis have Kannauj. At a lot of points we find that Mokharis became very very strong. Right? So Mokharis seems like a strong kingdom. They will expand. They will expand even southwards. So out of four, after Vardhan, the other strong empire is Mokharis. Right? Mokharis. They have Ayodhya, they have Mathura, they have Prayag, they have Patliputra. Right? And they have Kannauj, they have Kanyakumji. Right, again, number of kings, if you see, they are not much. Grahavarman is the last king. Yeah. So in fact, only two kings are important over here. One is Ishanavarman, and second is Grahavarman. Only these two. That's it. Right. None other king is important over here. Though it's a strong kingdom, but it will not survive for very long because it is destroyed by somebody. Right. Okay. So let's see. Again, feudatory stay. Yes, we know this. So Kannauj, we have discussed Kannauj. Harivarman Mokhari is the founder, and he will take some title like Maharaja, which says what? That he is a feudatory position. So founder, yes, founder is somebody we will keep in our mind. So Harivarman is the founder. Okay, done. Okay, other than that, so Harivarman, Adityavarman, both will have the titles like Maharaja. And if somebody takes a title like Maharaja, shows that if he is Maharaja, there are a lot of Rajas below him. That means it's a feudal position, it's a feudal country, feudal state. Right? Not very relevant. No, Adityavarman not very relevant. Harivarman founder. So it still makes sense. Then other than that, Ishan Varman. So Ishan Varman is considered as the real founder. He is the real founder. Ishan Varman, real founder. Why so? Because he's the one who is actually expanding. So he's the one who will take up expansion. Right? So he's the great king of Mokharis. So Mokharis, the only great king we have is your Ishan Varman. Ishan Varman. So let's see Ishan Varman. Adityavarman, Ishan Varman. Right? Ishan Varman. So Ishan Varman, again, he's calling himself as Maharaja Dhiraja, somebody bigger than Maharaja. Right? Bigger than Maharaja. Maharaja Dhiraja. So the kingdom is becoming superior now. And only thing which we want to, you can say, notice over here, that the expansion, it has reached Andhra Pradesh. Right? Odisha, Gauda, and mention see God over here. So God is subdued. Now God is angry because it is subdued. Right? And so now he's Maharaja Dhiraja. Now kingdom includes Andhra, Odisha, God. Right? Plus also defeated Hans. Whatever was remaining was Hans. Right? Then he has also defeated Chalukyas. Now it is an impossible task. Right? Defeating Chalukyas is tough. Very, very tough. Right? It's so tough. Defeating Chalukyas is so tough. Or basically pull the case in. Right? So Chalukyas are strong and defeating them is tough. First of all, because of Narmada. First of all, because if you have to invade Chalukyas, then you have to cross Narmada. That is one problem. Second, you understand that, right? Just a second. So this is Narmada. Right? After that, there is kingdom of Chalukyas. Right? And if you want to attack Chalukyas, first of all, they are strong. They are so strong. And second, you need to cross Narmada, and then you need to invade into that kingdom. So it is not easy. It is you can understand this from the fact that even Harshvardhan could not do this. Right? Harsha failed in this. He will fail. So then for Ishan Varman, if somebody is saying we have some inscription, right, which says that he even defeated Chalukyas, then that shows that he's a very, very strong king. Right? Also he was defeated by Kumar Gupta. Now you know which Kumar Gupta. You don't have to be confused. Right? Kumar Gupta we have already seen. So Kumar Gupta. Again, it was close to 550 only. So he got defeated from the Kumar Gupta, later Guptas, not the imperial Guptas. Right? Overall, he's a learned person, warrior, good person. Right? Ishan Varma. So yeah, Ishan Varma is the one who is known for expansion, famous person, famous king. We get to know about him from the Asirgarh copper plate inscription. Asirgarh copper plate, or basically Asirgarh is in Madhya Pradesh. Right? So from this inscription, we get to know that he had expanded his kingdom. He's the real founder. Right? He's the best person of the Mokhari. Ishan Varma. Right? Okay, let's move ahead. Shravan Varman, not very, very important. Right? He also defeated Damodar Gupta and all. Not very important. Right? Let's move. Also, Sarvar Varman. So there is a legend. We are not very, very sure, but there is a legend that after the fall of Hans. Now, Huns are not there. Huns has been defeated. So Huns are not there. And in Iran, the empire is Sassanid Empire. Sasanian Empire. Right? Sasanian Empire. And at this point of time, we had sent chess to Sassanid Emperor. Right? And we had sent chess to Sassanid Emperor. And then he had sent back another game to us, which is this game. Right? This is backgammon. So this is similar to chess, as tough as chess only. Right? The backgammon, I don't know how to play this. But yes. So this shows that our alliance, or basically our foreign relationship with the Sassanians has started. Now, how we get to know this? There is a book called Shahnama, which was written later by Ferdowsi. Right, Ferdowsi. From there we get to know about the story. Again, because this story was written much later, roughly in 10th century, so we are not sure how correct it is and who is the real king. Right, who is the king who had sent chess, and they are having this discussion. He sent chess, and the Khusro one sent back the backgammon. We are not very sure, who is doing this, but maybe as far as the calculation goes, it is Sarvar Varman. So Sarvar Varman is the one who had the alliance, or basically the foreign relationship with the Sassanians. The king name is Khusro one. So he is Khusro one. Right? Okay. Let's move ahead. Again, one more point we had to add. Okay, Avanti Varman, not very important. Okay, he's also having same title Maharaja Dhiraja. That means the empire is continuing. It is still on. So you can understand that Mokharis are one of the biggest, right? One of the biggest because they had somebody like Ishan Varman. Overall, they are continuing. Foreign relation and everything is going good. It's really going good. Now with this empire, Mokharis. Now Mokharis, you realize that Mokharis are doing good. And at this point of time, here are your Pushyabhutis. Right? Pushyabhuti. King is Prabhakar Vardhan. Or let's not go into detail. So now we will find that there is a matrimonial alliance between them. So Grah Varman, where is our Grah Varman? Grah Varman will be married to Rajshri. Right, so he will be married to Rajshri. So from here Rajshri will come, and from here Grah Varman will come, Grah Varman. And again there is a matrimonial alliance. Now who is Rajshri? Rajshri is sister of Harshvardhan. So technically Grah Varman is brother-in-law of Harshvardhan. Right. So now we saw two relationships. One was Dhruv Sena 2, another is Grah Varman, not Avanti Varman. Grah Varman, who is actually brother-in-law of Harshvardhan. Right. So now we establish this once we understand your Harshvardhan. Right. Let's go to Harshvardhan now. Let's conclude this part. Let's conclude with Mokharis. So Mokharis, we realize founder is Harivarman, founder. Adityavarman, Harivarman both are using this title Maharaja. But Ishan Varman will become Maharaja Dhiraja. He'll become much superior. First of second, Ishan Varman. Ishan name is also good, right? Ishan. So Ishan Varman is the one who will be expanding the empire. Who had even defeated the Chalukyas. Right? Another very, very famous person, very, very famous personality, main king, most important king of Mokharis. Then Shravan Varman and Avanti Varman, not much to add. And there is Grah Varman. So Grah Varman is the one who is brother-in-law. And see the timing. The rule is 600 to 605. Right? And this is again contemporary of Harshvardhan. Yeah. So we have completed the three secondary kingdoms. Ishan Varman, Sarvar Varman. Now let's talk about our Pushyabhutis. And we'll get back to that point where Grah Varman will come. We'll get back to Harshvardhan, and then we'll understand what had happened. Okay, so are we all aligned to this point? I hope everybody is there. quick chat. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still going in a lot of details, but still. Secondary is something, we will not discuss in this much detail. But again, this is the first chapter, so we are anyway discussing. But yeah, okay. All right. Is there a chance? Actually, Harsha has written that. The inscription where Ishan Verma is discussed, that Ishan Verma had defeated Chalukyas. Right, it is basically Harsh who had written. So we are not very sure. Maybe Harsha is making up because he lost. So maybe possible. Maharaja Dhiraj versus Maharaja. When Maharaja Dhiraj is one step above Maharaja, right? So Raja, the Raja submits to Maharaja. Maharaja submits to Maharaja Dhiraja, right? And somebody who had Adheen Maharaja. So that is Maharaja Dhiraja. Yeah. Yeah, I do disable chats. So I'm not aware, so I don't operate chats. So basically, I don't allow chats during the class discussion. During the time where I'm teaching. Once I have taught a concept, I open the chat and then we do the discussion. Right. So that is how I take the classes. Right. I think now you all are already aware. Okay. Let's go ahead. Relation between Grahavarman and Harshvardhan. Okay, we'll come back to it. Let us understand how Harshvardhan comes into picture. Right. Okay. Yeah, we'll get back to that one. Don't worry. We'll establish that relationship again. So now we are going to talk about Pushyabhutis. So Pushyabhutis, basically the founder is, if you see, the founder is Pushyabhuti. Right. At various sources it is mentioned that he is a mythical character. We are not very sure if he existed. Right. A lot of time people say that our founder is Surya, our founder is Chandra. So sometimes it is mythical. Somewhere, at a lot of places, other places it is mentioned that yes, he is a commander who fought Hans. Right. So I'm giving you both the views. Who fought Hans and defeated Hans. Right. And he defeated Hans. So he is the one who is actually facing Hans. Are you getting the point? They are close to Northwestern Empire, Northwestern frontier. So they are more exposed. Right. And they are the one who are exposed to any invasion from outside. Right. So they are the one who must have defeated Hans. Right. So yes, so they are the one, basically the Pushyabhuti. You can start from Pushyabhuti, that he is the founder and he is the one who had defeated Hans. But the real founder is Prabhakar Vardhan. So the story starts somewhere from Prabhakar Vardhan. Prabhakar Vardhan is technically fourth king. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So like that it is fourth. But if we say Pushyabhuti is also there, then it is fifth. Again, so we are not very sure and we should not ask such question. But yeah, anyway, so Prabhakar Vardhan is the real founder. Prabhakar Vardhana. So he is the real founder. He defeated Hans and he established this empire, making Thaneshwar as the main capital. So Thaneshwar is the capital. So this kingdom will be called as Pushyabhuti dynasty. So Pushyabhuti is of Thaneshwar. Now, okay, so now you'll find that he is the one who is expanding. He will expand into Malwa, Gujarat and all. So he is expanding. Right, plus Prabhakar Vardhan is the one. Prabhakar Vardhana. So now we'll understand the family. Prabhakar Vardhan. Right, Prabhakar Vardhan. Prabhakar Vardhan has Prabhakar Vardhan is married to Yashomati. Right, Prabhakar Vardhan. Now he has two sons. One is Rajavardhan. Or let's say one is Harshavardhan. Another is Rajavardhan. And one sister they have who is Rajyashri. The story is close to 600 CE. Right, where we wanted to start our era. That is 600 CE. So Harshavardhan, Rajavardhan and Rajyashri. Now Rajyashri, we got to know that is married to Grahavarman. Yeah, this is the first thing we get to know. That is the matrimonial alliance between your Pushyabhutis and Mokharis. And Grahavarman is the last king. Here the king is Grahavarman. So that is the first matrimonial alliance. Second matrimonial alliance we discuss. But right now this first. Okay, forget about first and second. Yeah, this matrimonial alliance happened. So Grahavarman is technically brother-in-law of Harshavardhana, right? And he's coming from the lineage of Ishan Varman. This is what your family? This is your Mokhari family. Now you can make one complete mind map like this only. And you can add all the details here itself. Right? Okay. By the way, let me show you one more thing before I. No, in the end. Okay, in the end. Okay. So now this family is established. Now what happened to Prabhakar Vardhan will die. Right? Prabhakar Vardhan will die. And after his death, Yashomati will commit sati. Right? She will immolate herself, she will burn herself, and she will commit sati. So Yashomati and Prabhakar Vardhan are not there. Now Rajavardhan is the new king. So he is the king now. He succeeded because he's the elder person, right? He was born to rule. He was trained to rule, right? Not born to rule, he was trained to rule because he is the elder brother and he is supposed to rule. So from you can say from the very birth, right? He was the one who was being trained to become a king one day. Now what happened? There is some unfortunate events. So there is one king in Bengal, Shashank of Gauda, right? So what happened? Shashank of Gauda will ally with a king at Ujjain, king of Malwa, Devagupta, king of Malwa. When I say Malwa, it is actually Ujjain, right? Ujjain and nearby area, that is Malwa. So they both will align against Grahavarman, right? They will attack Grahavarman. So Grahavarman will be killed by Shashank of Gauda. So he is technically killed by Shashank of Gauda. So Shashank will kill him. And another is Devagupta. He's from Malwa. He's from Gauda. So now Devagupta. So basically Devagupta wants to marry Rajyashri, right? He's from Malwa. He wants to marry Rajyashri, and they have killed Grahavarman, and they have imprisoned Rajyashri. So Rajyashri is imprisoned over here. He's in jail right now, and Devagupta is of the view that he should marry Rajyashri. Now Rajavardhan, as you can say, he has to take revenge. He has to attack, and Rajavardhan, to rescue her sister, he will go and attack both of them. Now Rajavardhan will be able to kill Devagupta. He will kill him, but Shashank of God, by treachery, right, by deceit, he will kill Rajavardhan. So Rajvardhan will be killed by your Shashank of God. Now Harsh has lost his brother-in-law and also has lost his brother Rajvardhan. Now when Rajvardhan was leaving for war, right, Harshvardhan had requested, when Rajvardhan had requested Harsh to become king, so Rajvardhan requested, brother, you should not go, right? Let me go and attack, maybe because it is dangerous, right? And you are the one who is born to rule, you are the one who is born to become the king. I am not the one. Also Harshvardhan is very young right now, right? And close to 20 somewhere. So he is not at all born to rule. In fact, Harsh is somebody who is a director, who is a writer. He's into plays, and so he loves doing plays, he loves writing plays. So he's more oriented towards the culture, not at all oriented towards the rule. So he was not at all inclined to become king. But it was his destiny that now he has lost his brother and now he has no, you can say, option but to become king. Right, so now he needs to avenge. So first of all he will attack Shashank. So Shashank will run away. And Rajashri. So Rajashri has actually gone to Vindhyas and she was going to commit sati. But Harsha will reach in time, right? And he will save his sister and he will bring his sister back. Right, so now Rajashri, he has brought Rajashri back and now he will start to rule. Now that's the first part where we lost Grahavarman and now Rajashri is with Harshvardhan only. Right, but he is with his brother Harshvardhan. Now another part of the story is that after this the kingdom of Mokharis, right, the question arises, who will become the king now? Right, and the question is now who will lead? So now the ministers over here, right, ministers over here, now they were discussing what to do, and there's a minister called Poni, and minister said, one of the main ministers said, we should ask Harshvardhan to actually lead both the rules, both the empires. Harsha, let's ask Harshvardhan. Now Harshvardhan is also advised by a Bodhisattva. Now this is of course, no, I'm sorry, maybe it is true, maybe it is not, I'm not very sure, but he is advised by a Bodhisattva as well. He's advised by Avalokiteshwar. Yes, he's advised by Avalokiteshwar. So he, maybe in dream or I don't know how, but he says that he was advised by Avalokiteshwar. Bodhisattva also wants him to become the king, and that's how he will accept this position. And he will accept, okay, let's merge both the kingdoms. So that's the first part. He has merged both the kingdoms. Another move what he did, he said Thaneshwar is not at all a good position. Right, Thaneshwar is not a good position. The reason, very much vulnerable from the northwestern attacks. Right, not a good idea. What I should do? Instead, let's make Kannauj my capital. So now he has a new capital, Kannauj. Why? We know the reason, we know the benefits of Kannauj. So now he has shifted his capital to Kannauj. Now he will rule from Kannauj. Also, the kingdom is big now. Now he has strong position. He has Mokhari kingdom along with Thaneshwar kingdom. So overall, it's already expanded. It's already a very, very strong kingdom now. Right? He has all the resources now. The Gangetic plain, Mathura, agriculture, everything. Plus Thaneshwar side already he was there, and he is a strong rule. So anyway, this is a strong, or you can say a force to reckon with. And at this point, right, this is his king, Harshvardhan's king, and you find that here you find Garud. Right? This is Garud in the coin. Right? Also, this is seal of Harshvardhan. Okay, so now after becoming king, first thing he will declare is that he will send messages to all the big kingdoms. He will send messages, right, to submit, that you all should submit. So he will also send a message to Shashanka. He has just fled, right? He's not over yet. So he will send this message to Shashanka, God ruler, plus Vallabhi ruler, right? And he will send a message to them as well. Vallabhis, sir, now you need to submit. Now we are a big empire, right? So you need to submit. Plus, he has also challenged Pulakesin. So here we had Pulakesin II, yet not introduced. But yes, Pulakesin II is here. And he was also challenged, sir, now you need to submit. And nearby all here, there are strong, small empires in Nepal, Kashmir, etc. Everybody needs to submit to Magadha. Right, now, why he's making such a declaration? Because everybody knows that it's a strong kingdom. If we don't submit, then definitely he will attack. And if he attacks, then that will be a drain for both of us. So it's better if we submit, give him money and whatsoever he needs, and let us keep our kingdom. Let's become his feudal lord. Right? It only and only means that if, let's say, Matrika submits to Harshvardhan, that means that this kingdom will become part of Harshvardhan. But who will rule this area? Still Matrikas. But they will have to give a lot of money. Right? They will have to give money, tribute. Otherwise, only Matrikas will be ruling it. So there is not much harm. Rather than getting defeated or destroyed, and I don't know what then after that I don't know what Harshvardhan can do. Right? Maybe he will remove the Matrikas. It's better to submit. Right? It's better to give them money, give them tribute, and get submit. So a lot of them will definitely submit, but a lot of fights will also take place. So now we'll see. Yeah. So versus Shashank, we'll see that there is a huge preparation with Shashank. Right? He will ally with Varmans as well. Now Shashank are somewhere here. Right? Shashank God is technically here. This is God. Now Harshvardhan will ally with Varmans. Harshvardhan will ally with Assam. And together they will be having big war. But we don't have much details about the war, what happened. But anyway, we know that Shashank lost. Right? What exactly happened, we don't know, but Shashank lost the war. This is something we know. Second, Matrikas of Vallabhi. So we know it was here, Matrikas of Vallabhi will also be defeated. Here it was Dhruv Bhatta. Just now we saw him. Dhruv Sena 2. So he will be defeated. And here we'll find the alliance. Where is that family chart? Here. So now we'll see that alliance, that Harsha daughter will be married to Dhruv Sena. Right, this alliance will happen now. So Matrikas and Vallabhi are also the allies. Yeah. So now he has started expanding. Let's get back. Matrikas of Vallabhi. Right. Now he will fight Pulakesin II, and this is the battle he will lose. Right. And Pulakesin II will defeat him, and here Pulakesin II will assume a title, Maheshwar. Also a title will come to him, Dakshina Pathanatha. That I am the lord of Dakshina Patha. Right, I am the lord of Dakshina Patha, or basically I am the lord of Dakshin, South area, right, and you are the lord of North India. So one more title, comes to your Harshvardhan. So Harshvardhan will become Uttar Pathanatha. Right, he's also called as Sakal Uttar Pathanatha. At some places you can write Sakal Uttar Pathanatha, total Uttar Pathanatha, right, complete Uttar Pathanatha will belong to Harsha. Right, okay. And other than that, he will defeat other kingdoms as well. He has small kingdom, they will also submit. Not to discuss. Yeah. So this is how he has expanded his empire. So we saw his expansion, and this is the Harshvardhan Empire, right? Complete you can say almost complete North India. The Thanishwar, Kannauj, then your Patliputra and all, then Ujjain, then Vallabhi. All these important cities are his kingdom, are under his kingdom. South will be ruled by Pulakesin II. So here is Pulakesin II, here is Harshvardhan, right? You know? Sorry. So you can say that this is the regret he has, that he could not cross Narmada. So Harsha will rule on the northern part of Narmada, and Pulakesin will rule towards the southern part, this part, Pulakesin II. So now you already know Pulakesin II. When we talk about Chalukyas, we'll introduce him, Pulakesin II. So yeah, so he's called as last great Hindu king of India. Right now, yeah, this is a way of looking at it. It cannot be 100%. It cannot be 100% true that he's the last great Hindu king. We have a lot of great Hindu kings after him as well. But such a big empire, of course. Yes, North India, such a big empire. This is the last big empire we are observing, which is of Harshvardhan. Okay, so yeah, Sakal Uttar Pradesh we're talking about. Sakal Uttar Pradesh, and yeah, so he's Pulakesin II. We'll talk about Pulakesin II later. So military conquest we have seen, borders and all we have seen. Also he shares good relationship with Chinese emperor. Right, the Chinese emperor at that point is Taizong, Tang emperor, Taizong. And he had sent 2 embassies to Harshvardhan. So one is towards the end of the empire, that is 643. One is 647. And at this point of time, the empire, or basically Harshvardhan, had died. And somebody had taken up the throne, and he was not a good king, right? So what this ambassador will do, he will ally with all the nearby kingdoms and take the king with him to China. Right? And this is as per the Tamil Nadu NCRT. The Tamil Nadu NCRT says that Chinese ambassador allied with Assam and all nearby areas, and they will take the new king with them. You are not the worthy king, you cannot replace Harshvardhan, let's take you to China. So he was kidnapped. Right? Yeah, he had a good relationship with China. Let's talk about his administration now. So we are done with all the 4 dynasties. We are done with the you can say the leaders of all the dynasties. We are done. Now we'll talk about the administration of Harsha. We'll talk about religion during Harsha. We'll talk about Huensang. Huensang is coming in. Right? A lot of things we know about his empire is from the book of Huensang, that is Siyuki. Right? So let's get to administration, society, religion of Harsha. Right? Are we all aligned to this point? Yeah, Sapna, tell me. Quick chat. Yeah. Buddhism, yeah, it has not died yet. Buddhism is still there. Buddhism has not gone anywhere yet. Okay. Apu, please refresh. Maybe kill the app and restart again. Right, you'll be able to see the chat. Sometimes it gets stuck, right? So I also sometimes have to refresh. And that is because of cookies and all. So yes. Northern India. Northwestern side. Okay. Shashank God had cut the Bodhi tree. Pushyabhuti is known for persecution of Buddhists. Pushyamitra Sunga. Okay. Okay. And so after defeating from Pulakesin, Harsha allied were with, or they break the treaty. Okay, I'm not sure if somebody broke the treaty, but yes. Sorry. Okay, let's continue. Okay, किसने किसको kidnap किया? Let me tell you again. So it was like when 647, somebody came from China, ambassador. They found that Harsha is dead, and some king is dead who is not good. Right. So this ambassador abducted him, not abducted him, but defeated him with the help of nearby areas, and took this king to China. Right, and a short story. Yes, let's go ahead. Okay, administration. So now Harsha's administration. Now we know that this is coming from your Guptas. So Guptas were themselves not a centralized empire. So we can obviously just say that this is also going to be a simple decentralized empire. Right? And so if we talk about Harsha administration, this will also be same. Right, we'll find that the core part of basically close to Kannauj and nearby area, this will be centralized, or basically this is being governed by the center. And other than that, everybody has their own sphere. There are a lot of feudal lords, and these feudal lords have different sets of power. Means some feudal lord will be very strong. They will behave like autonomous. Some feudal lord will be weak and they will be under control of Harshvardhan. Right. So it's not like everybody will be same. If it's a small kingdom, a small warlord, a small feudal lord, they will be fully under control of Harshvardhan. Whatever Harshvardhan wants, they will do. But otherwise, some of them will be like autonomous. They don't care what Harshvardhan is saying. Basically, Harshvardhan will also be like, they're strong allies, so let's not interfere with them. Yeah. So the centralized authority is basically from Mathura to Patna. Right, Mathura to Patliputra. That's it. This is core, but other than that, Mathura to Patliputra is core. The central government is only looking into this. The rest, whole kingdom is under some feudal lord. Right, and it is not directly ruled by the king. Plus again, king, as we know, king you can say is the core, is the center of the power. Plus he will be assisted by Mantri Parishad. Right, and he is assisted by Mantri Parishad. We also get to know that Mantri Parishad is right now we realize that a group of ministers decided that let the king come in. So that shows these are important, and sometimes they will also participate in the selection of the king who should become king. Now you say, sir, how is that possible? King should be hereditary. Right, king should be hereditary. There is no question who should become king. But sometimes there is. For example, in the case of Kannauj, sometimes there will be like some of the princes unworthy, right? And he should not become king. So the councillors will actually advise the king, the existing king, that maybe this person should not become king, or maybe some other person should become king. Right, now you say, how come these Mantri Parishad or the councillors will have that power? Because this Mantri Parishad, because it is basically the continuation of Guptas, this Mantri Parishad must also be hereditary. No. Oh, yeah. This must be hereditary, right? And the Gupta Empire, we saw that the ministers were hereditary. They were actually they were not being removed. Sometimes same person was handling so many posts. So they are powerful. They are existing in the system for a very, very long time, right? It's like a family existing in the system. Also, they will not be, a lot of ministers will not be paid in salary, but they will be paid in land grant, right? Instead of salary, they'll be given a land, a piece of land. The revenue from here is your salary. Basically, this land is your salary. Are you getting my point? So you are the owner of that land. Whatever money is coming from there is your salary. So I don't have to give cash to you. So these are, you can say, some important lords, some small, important feudal lords. They have some small kingdom of their own, right? They are like small Raja, below Maharaja, Dhiraja. So they have some standing already, and that is the reason they matter in the system, right? So Mantri Parishad, and that is the reason we are saying that's a decentralized. It's not like the king is super powerful and he can do anything he wants. Right? Until unless it's a leadership, it's a very, very strong leadership. Until unless it's Harshvardhan, right? It is tough. You can say the ministers will have a lot of control over the king. They will tell him what to do and what not to do. It is not like he can disregard all the advices given by the Mantri Parishad. No, it is not a possibility. Why? Because he needs that support from the Mantri Parishad, right? Okay, so yeah, the important role. Plus, you'll find that even because they are very important. So even in the policy making, they have important say. Their advice is important. It's not a despotic king. It's not a king who can do anything. Remember, if you have seen this movie recently, and it's okay if you have not seen this movie, Prithviraj Chauhan, right? Prithviraj Chauhan. If you see Prithviraj Chauhan always asks, Samantong करा जाएगा? Samantong ये करे? Samantong क्या राय है? Samantong की राय क्यों important है? आप किंग हो, है ना? Samantong की राय important है because the feudal lord है, वो सामंत है, right? वो नीचे एक सामंत है, उसके पास अपनी जमीन है, अपना एरिया है, उसकी अपनी छोटी सी सेना है, right? And that सेना is basically, that army is basically supporting Prithviraj Chauhan, right? So he cannot be like despotic. I want to do this, so this has to be done. No, he has to ally everyone. He has to align everyone, and then only he can take this call. Now we are entering into medieval, right? So this is like what we saw in the Prithviraj Chauhan. That is the extreme case of this only. Right, we are gradually reaching this part. That is C zone. We are right now in A zone. So something like that will be basically something like that will be visible here itself. Right, this is medieval. So you can say the feudalism, right, and this is Indian feudalism. The feudalism is getting stronger. Right, it will have some control over the king. And again, it is Harshvardhan. It's fine. He's a strong leader, right? It's fine. But otherwise, the other kings will have hardly any control. Basically, they will be run by the system. Right, they will have to take the advice of the PMs. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So this is important. This is important role. Other than that, yeah. If we talk about it, whatever provinces we have over here, provinces. So again, it is divided, right? See, this thing hardly matters. Why? Because this system is only applicable roughly from Mathura to Patna. This is not the whole empire. But anyway, it will be divided into few provinces. How many provinces we don't know. Right, we have no idea. There is no mention of how many provinces. But the kingdom will be divided into provinces, and the provinces will be called as Bhukti. Then it will be divided into districts called as Vishayas. Again, you find the names are similar. We have learned about such names. So Bhukti, Vishaya. then there are sub districts called as Pathakas. Right, but how this local administration is happening, we don't have much clarity into this. Right, local administration. There are some local officials, for example, Bhogapati, Ayuktha. There is one more post, Pratapalaka Purush. Right, how they are functioning exactly, we don't have much idea. But yes, there was some kind of local administration. There were some officers, working in the local, you can say, local administration. Right, in the Bhukti or in the Vishayas or in the Patakas and all, must be into revenue collection, law and administration, the revenue and law and order. How exactly we don't know. So UPSC should not be asking this question, right? Because we don't have much details with respect to the whole process over here. Like we had in Ashoka times, or we had in something in the other eras, Satavahanas and all. Now, other than that, Yuan-Sang. So Harshvardhan will be visited by Yuan-Sang. Now you say, sir, what is the spelling? There is no spelling. Yuan-Sang, whatever you feel like you can write. Right? It can be Zunzang, you can start with Z, you can start with X, Zunzang. Right? So it is all. Whatever sounds like Zunzang can be written. It's a Chinese name, there's no fixed, you can say, spelling to this name. Every book has invented its own spelling. Right? So Yuan-Sang, so yes, one you can say the accepted spelling is Yuan-Sang, this one. Right? Yuan-Sang. Okay, so Yuan-Sang came to India from China during the reign of Harshvardhan. So yeah, so he met Harsha. And he has seen all the cities and all. All the cities, towns, but not all, but a lot of cities, towns, villages. Right? And he has also visited all the places connected to, all the pilgrim sites connected to Buddha, his birthplace, where he took his last meal, everything. So he had visited all the places of Buddha's life. Plus he had stayed at Nalanda University for 5 years. Right? Now Nalanda University is the center of Mahayana Buddhism. So he had stayed here for like 5 years. Plus he had traveled more. He had even gone to Pallavas, right, Kanchi, and he has also met Pulakeshin too, and then returned back to China. Right, when he had gone back, he took a lot of relics of Buddha. Right, he took a lot of statues of Buddha. He took a lot of manuscripts of Buddha. Right, so he learned a lot. He was anyway a scholar of Buddhism, and here he had like taken the whole BTech degree from Nalanda. Right, actually integrated course from Nalanda, not only BTech. Right, integrated MSc in Buddhism. Right, so he has done the whole, you can say, course from here, and now he has gone back and he has taken a lot of things with him. Right, a lot of books, like 640 books somewhere he has taken with him. Right, a lot of manuscripts, a lot of books, a lot of statues and all, and that is he has taken to China. So China is actually a center of Buddhism. Before him already Fa Hien had come in Gupta Empire, so he's very much inspired by Fa Hien and wanted to physically go and see how the place of birthplace of Buddha, or the place of Buddha, or the country where Buddhism had started, right, how it looks like, and to learn about Buddhism and to get a lot of manuscripts and all. So that was the whole intent. And in this whole journey, he has described this whole journey in his book, his experiences, which is Siyuki. So in Siyuki, he has written about all things, whatever he has seen. So his travel log, basically the whole experience is written in this book, Siyuki. So he has spoken about, he has discussed about other things, but he also, wrote about, what he saw. He saw cities, he saw, society, right? He saw fault. Whatever he has, so he saw in society, he saw justice, he saw religion, Right. So he had said a lot of things about in his experiences in his book. He has written a lot of things, and that gives us a lot of idea about the reign of Harshvardhan. Right. Also, it was because of the effort of, or because of the influence of Huensang. Right. That is the influence of Huensang. I'll write HT. Right. HT. Influence of Huensang plus Rajashri. Rajashri, which converted Harsha to Buddhism, which influenced Harsha to Buddhism. By the way, after Harsha had rescued Rajashri, now you know Rajashri, Rajashri sister of Harshvardhan. So after he had rescued Rajashri, Rajashri has also you can say adopted, embraced your Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana. Right, he's also Mahayana Buddhism. So Harshvardhan will also embrace Mahayana Buddhism. So Harshvardhan will also start. Yeah. So Harshvardhan will also start into Buddhism. Yeah. So anyway, right now we will use his experiences, what he has seen, right, into our discussion. Okay. So let's see what Huensang has seen over here. So now, Huensang says, as per Huensang, so he has also seen cities and towns. Right. So as per Huensang, he has described that Pataliputra is declining. That is the first thing we have already discussed this part. Plus, he talks about Kannauj. Right. Kannauj, when he says Kannauj has, the structure is lofty. It has gardens, it has museums, it has lofty structure, multiple buildings, lofty structure. It has gardens, right, big gardens. It has museums. So this is actually a beautiful city. Right. It has museums, gardens, and all. It is a beautiful city. And you'll find the people over here wear costly dresses. That means there's prosperity. People are rich. So he says that here, other than Kannauj, the style of living or the lifestyle is very, very simple. Otherwise, they wear very simple clothes. But this is a city. Kannauj is a city where people wear costly dresses. Right? And this is something which is exciting him. Plus, here he finds that people love learning, and people are very much interested into arts, and that is the reason we have museums over here. Right? And people love arts and all. Right? They are into art. So yes, they support art. They love art, and that is the reason we saw a lot of museums. Plus, if we talk about a general city, we find that a city looks like it has thick walls. Right, so it has thick walls, thick high walls for protection. Right, thick high walls. Plus, it has some outside walls are thick, and then there is some internal gate as well. Internal gates, and the streets going inside plus the streets inside going on and the streets inside are very, very narrow lanes. Very narrow lanes. So it seems like a bit congested over here. So cities, it is not well planned, kind of not very well planned, and the lanes and all are very, very narrow. Streets are very, very narrow, and it looks very congested over here. Plus. There are like big mansions, right? Some big public buildings, and that shows there is a state, there is some government authority. Right? So big mansions, big houses, big public buildings. Plus, he also observed that there are a lot of Buddhist monasteries and viharas. And this is something which he's observing on the banks of Ganga. Right, so there are a lot of cities which has these monasteries. So it is not like in Nalanda monastery only. There are some small colleges, but there must be some small colleges as well. So in the cities and all, we find that there are some smaller seats of learning as well. So there are Buddhist monasteries, there are viharas where monks can stay, there are big mansions, there are public buildings. So cities seems to be very much flourishing over here. Right, and the construction material which they are using, so they are using burnt bricks. Right, burnt bricks. They are using red sandstone. They are using marble, and these are multi-story. It's not like these are small. These are multi-story buildings. Right. Okay. Last point about the city. So there are residential houses, and these are also big residential houses. Residential houses, they have balcony as well. They have painted the whole house using lime mortar. A white color house, beautiful. Right, white lime mortar they have used. Plus over the floor, they are smearing, they are using cow dung, right? So they put cow dung over there. So you must have seen in your village as well. Right? So what happens in the village? If there is, let's say, kacha floor, right? Let's say muddy floor. So what they do, they basically make a solution of cow dung and they add some water in it, they mix it, and then they put it on the floor, right? Not only the floor, but they also put it on the walls, right? And on the, let's say 1/4 of the wall, they will put this cow dung, right? Cow dung. Also on the chulha and all, the bhatti, the oven, right? So in the chulha also they put this whole cow dung, right? So that it becomes like very clean first of all, and it will be like there will be no dust over it. You can sit on it, you can cook food over that. Right? So that is the reason it is still being used. It is still being used. If you have a kacha house at your village, you will be able to see that, right? It's a very, very common practice. The same thing is being told over here that in the residential houses, in the floor you see that they will put some cow dung, right? So as to make it bit stiff, right? There's no dust coming out. Okay, then additionally he also talks about that Harshvardhan is also into charity, right? He does a lot of charity. He spends a lot on welfare, right? So we will find that he is very much into charitable institutions. Now this is the theme, that he is into charitable institutions, right? For example, for travelers, right? So there will be like hospitals, there will be like travel in dharamshalas, right? And hospitals basically are about free medical service. It's all free. It's free medical service given by the state. So Harshvardhan is also into charity. It's also into the welfare of the people, and ensures that people get free services, whether it is traveler, whether it is sick, whether it is poor, right? They will get the service, and so that they can sustain, because it might be expensive without the support. So we find that medicines and all, it has state support, right? State is supporting medicine, state is supporting travel, state is supporting travelers or businessmen, traders, right? There is security, there is a dharamshala. You can stay in that dharamshala free of cost. Okay, so Harsh is basically doing this as well. Okay. Now let's talk about judiciary. So this is more about the welfare part. So suppose if you have to write, basically there is MCQ on welfare, right? MCQ on welfare, or MCQ on state planning, town planning, MCQ on welfare, right? Already one element was asked, which is our next topic, judiciary. Judiciary is already asked, right? Harshvardhan, judiciary, we see the question in the end, and judiciary was anyway asked before. Right, so let's talk about judiciary. Where is the pen? Okay. So now, so we find that there are judges, Nimansakas, justice. Topic is justice. So they are judges, Nimansakas, right? Nimansakas. They are the judges. They are the one who will dispense justice. Right. Now, the important part is that we realize that criminal law over here is very, very severe. Right? Criminal law, you find that it is very severe. Criminal law, even if it is theft, it is punished very severely. So criminal law is severe, very severe. Understood? You'll find that there can be banishment. There can be trial by ordeal. Now, what is trial by ordeal, right? And you must have heard by trial by fire, trial by jury, right? Trial by a lot of such trial can happen, right? But trial by ordeal is basically some divine power, right? And they will have some competition, or they will have something between somebody who is accused and somebody who has accused, and they will see, God is supporting whom, right? And automatically who is worried or who is, you can say, scared of the result. So somehow they will guess, this is right, this is wrong. For example, there can be, ordeal by oil, ordeal by, for example, like Sita ji was asked to go for Agni Pariksha. That is called as trial by ordeal. That if you have not done anything wrong, nothing will happen to you, right? Similarly, like trial by hot water or trial by cold water. So hot water is schema you can choose. Suppose if it's trial by hot water, the hot water means you have to bring something out of the hot water, right? If you are able to do that, then it's okay, right? That means you are safe. You are not done anything. If not, then that means you are accused or you are convicted. Similarly, it is suppose hot oil, right? And you have to pick something out of the hot oil, right, with your bare hands, right? And maybe both has to do. The one who has accused or one who is accused, both has to do that, right? And so such thing is called as, such trials are called as trial by ordeal. Now you say that what is the logic? Logic is there is not enough logic behind it, but it is more like people will be scared if they have done something wrong, right? I don't know how it operates, but yes, it was believed so. Then life imprisonment. Life imprisonment was also given. Life imprisonment, right? Especially if there is some conspiracy. If somebody is conspiring against king, if there is some conspiracy, then there will be a punishment of life imprisonment, right? So now Huinsang, what Huinsang's observation over here is, so Huinsang observes. So we are talking about justice over here. Let's talk about Huinsang. So as per Huinsang, or as per HT, right? He says that it's a very perfect law and order condition. It's a perfect law and order condition. Though his own belonging, he had suffered a robbery himself, right? But overall, he says that's a perfect law and order condition, and there are strong law enforcing agencies, right? So there are agencies in function, right? Who will take care of law and order? Who will take care of these order in the society, right? Plus, he also mentions corporal punishment. Corporal punishment is like when somebody is being beaten, right? Flogging, like Kumram Bhimolo, right? RRR, he was getting beaten. So corporal punishment, if there is some severe mistake, if something is very, very severe, then corporal punishment can be given, right? As far as possible, death penalty was avoided. Right? Not being given. Death penalty, as per Huinsang, it was avoided, right? And sometimes there is punishment by maiming, right? Your limbs and all will be cut. Maiming, right? Especially if you defy law. Defiance of law, right? Maiming can happen. Yeah. Okay. Other than that, Huinsang says that Harsh used to travel a lot. Harsh used to go into his empire. He used to roam around. He loves to become familiar with the empire. He loves to know how things are happening, how people are feeling. Right? Is the welfare measure, everything is right or not? So you can say he wants to have that first-hand information about his kingdom, and that is the reason he used to travel in his kingdom a lot. Right? He used to meet people and try to get what they are feeling or what they are suffering. Okay, so this is your judiciary. Judiciary is done. Let's see what other things you have got. Army, again, army is basic. Most importantly, supported by feudalism. It is same as what we have seen in Gupta Empire. So I'm leaving it here for you. Right, you need to see this. And there are a few important officials. Again, Mahasandhi Vigraha, Mahabal Adhikrit. So Bal Adhikrit. So this is again highest official of the army. Bal Adhikrit, Mahabal Adhikrit. This is like commander. Name itself says that it is Bal Adhikrit. Bal Adhikari. That is your commander. Vihandeshwar is head of cavalry. Right, similarly, there are more positions. Right, you know this. Land grants, again, land grant. Additional part of land grant. Land grant, there is no reason that it will not continue. Land grant will still be there. It will still be given to Brahmins and all. But the additional part over here, that land grants are being given to officers as well. But we have discussed this, right? Instead of salary, in lieu of salary, right, they are being given a proper land grant. And the rights are same. The rights are same as officers, as Brahmins. It will be tax-free. It will be, you can say, administration-free or administrative immunity. So that's how these officers will have a lot of power. We have already discussed this, but just clarifying. Okay, so taxation, if we see taxation, again, we are not seeing taxation. So 3 types of taxes are mentioned, right? One is Bhag, one is Hiran, and another is Bali. Again, same from the Gupta Empire itself. Bhag is your land tax. But you find that it is very, very low, 1/6. That is like 16%. Only 16%. So land revenue being collected is only 16%, right? And Bhag is basically 16% in kind. Right? That means if this is my whole land, then I have to give 16% of the crop. I'll cut it and give it like this only. Right? Give the crop itself. That is kind, that is Bhag. So 16%, that is 16% Bhag I'll give. But instead, if I pay cash, I sell this and I pay cash. This is called as Hiranya. Why Hiranya? Because Hiran is fast, it runs fast, so cash is faster. Right, so Hiranya. Similarly, under term Bali, we are not very sure how Bali works, but it must be some extra tax. Right? So yeah, so Hiranya will be, cash will be paid by bigger farmers, paid by merchants and all. Right? And then Bali, we are not very sure. Bali. Okay, so overall it's a light tax, and we'll find that the whole revenue will be divided into 4 parts. Right? One part will be spent on the expenditure of the state. So almost, I'll not say 25%, but there is a definite part defined, which is for the state affairs. which is about running the state. But one part is for the scholars, for patronizing the scholars, right? For the for the people who are doing research and all, right? Then third is for officials and public servant salary and all. And there's a definite part for the religious purpose, for the donation, for the running of these monasteries, viharas and all, right? And the definite part for the religious purpose as well, the fourth one. Yeah, the revenue mainly two taxes, bhaga and hiranya, and whatever money is being collected, it gets divided into four parts: state affairs, scholars, officials and public servants, and religious purposes. Yeah, so taxation and revenue, party decline we have already seen. Now let's talk about the religion and the society, right? Religion and the society. So he has already came, and this is the whole track of the Yuan-sang, right? So he came by Turfan, then Samarkand also he had gone, then he had gone to Balkh, he has seen Bamiyan Buddha statues over here, and then he had gone to Takshila, right? Then he came to your Kannauj, right? He met Harshvardhan over here. Then here Shravasti, Lumbini, Vaishali, etc. And then he had gone south, right? He had gone to Tamarlipti, and then he had gone to Kanchi as well. From here he will go to your Nasik, Ajanta, Ujjain. So here he will meet Pulakesin too as well, right? So he has gone to Chalukyans as well, right? And then he'll come back. He'll go back like this. Yeah, not exactly this, but this and the road. Yeah, this is the way Yuan-sang has come. Okay, now let's talk about the society part or the religion part. Let's finish first the religion thing. Okay, so religion. This is technically the last important topic, religion. So roughly till 630, Harshvardhan was the follower of Shiva, right? But after 630, because of the, you can say, his sister Rajshri, and also 630 is the time where our HP will come, right? The Rajshri production, Rajshri and your Harshvardhan, sorry, Yuan-sang will make him convert to Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism. Right, Mahayana Buddhism. So it is not like he has converted to Mahayana Buddhism, so he will not support other religions. No, it's still he is supporting other religions as well, because he has to take care of the whole society. There will be a lot of Brahminical monks, a lot of Jains and all. So he has to take care of everyone. It is not like he is biased towards a particular religion, but of course, as king takes up a particular religion, it gets good support. Right, now you find that here he will listen to the discourses of the other religion as well. He will have discussion with the other monks as well. Right, so other religious discourse still continues. Other creed discourses continue. Right, it's not like he stopped that. Second, he will ask for the slaughter of animals and all. Right, slaughter of animal. So he will say that now animals should not be killed. So slaughter of animal or animal sacrifice, it will be restricted. Right, he will put some restriction on that. It is not right that we should not do this. So again, slaughter of animals, remember, this is something which we saw for the very first time during the reign of Ashoka. Right, Ashoka did this. There should be no slaughter of animals, especially in the royal kitchen. Right, there should be no such non-veg preparation at all. And the meat consumption or slaughter of animals is something he has restricted. Now he also conducted two assemblies. So Buddhist assembly, if we see Buddhist assembly, basically he is famous for two assemblies. So one assembly which is very, very famous is Kannauj assembly. Kannauj assembly was attended by 20 kings, and it is so famous that a king from Assam, he also came. Right, and a king from Assam is coming over here. Bhaskar Varman, Kamaroop Empire, Assam Empire. Right, he has also come to attend this council. Right, another 20 kings. Plus, this council is being attended by Kannauj assembly is being attended by other religions, so Vedic, Jain, etc. And here in this assembly, we find there's a big statue of Buddha. Right, so there's a big golden statue, and then there's a small statue. Big golden statue is placed at a point. There's a big golden statue. There's some Shamiana or Pandal and all. Right, and there's a small statue of like 3 feet or something. That it is also of gold, and that is for procession. Harsha is keeping that on his head, and they're dancing and taking the whole procession with him. Right, and like that. So yeah, so there are two statues over here, which also shows his sculpture must be good. We have such big statues right now. But yeah, we have not found those sculptures. But yes, so there are two statues in this Kannauj assembly. Plus he asked his friend Yuan-sang, my friend Zhuzang, can you take this meeting? Can you tell us something about Mahayana Buddhism? Can you go on stage and say 2 words? So yeah, so Yuan-sang will go on stage, but he will say something in Chinese, of course. Right, so so he will give his discourse. All these things, etc. So now others are not liking it. Right, others are not liking it, especially Brahminical monks. Brahminical monks are not at all liking it. Right, they don't like this development. Reason, because it is something like repeat of history. It is something like like Ashoka had supported one religion, right, and that led to the decline of Brahmanism. So maybe this will lead again to similar things. So here there is an assassination attempt on Harsha as well, as far as the legend says, story says, that there is an attempt on Yuan-sang, there is an attempt on Harshvardhan as well, but Harshvardhan had warned, if something happens to Yuan-sang, then I will take revenge, then I will handle it with very, very stern hand. Also he had arrested 500 Brahminical monks over here, right? He arrested them, and he also killed a few of them. So this also happened because of this clash, because of this, you can say, because of this assembly, right? Also one of the reasons that this assembly is so famous. Also this whole Shamiana got burnt. Right, it catch fire and it all got burnt. Right, a lot of things are legends, but still let's get to know, and let's see if something is related to that coming in UPSC, that will be helpful. Okay, so this assembly we have discussed, but other than that there is the Prayag assembly. Allahabad Prayag assembly. Now this assembly is quinquennial. That means it happens every 5 years, and it is also called as Mahamoksha Parishad. Mahamoksha Parishad. So every 5 years this assembly used to happen. Right, Mahamoksha Parishad. Right, and here Harsha used to distribute wealth to everyone. Right, all monks, poor, Buddhist monks, Brahminical monks, everybody used to get wealth over there, money over here. Okay. So also Yuan-sang observes that in the society, the Buddhism has is deeply ingrained. So Yuan-sang says that the tenets of Buddhism, you can say that it has gone permeated in the Indian society. Right, tenets of Buddhism has gone deep into the Indian society. Right, and it's like core part of the Indian society. It's already there. Plus Yuan-sang also says that in this state there is freedom of worship. You can worship any god you want. So he also talks about freedom of worship. Right. Plus he also discussed that there is a lot of social harmony. Right, there are a lot of castes, but there is still a lot of social harmony. So Hyun Sang observes that there is social harmony. Also, there is a perfect law and order condition we had seen, right? It is not only about the harmony, but also the state is ensuring there is perfect law and order condition in the state, right? Okay. So we have discussed the religion part as well. Last few things about the society. Let's talk. See, Nalanda University, education-wise, let me add one thing. Nalanda University. So as we got to know that he had stayed here for like yeah, how much for? We'll see Nalanda University later. Let's talk about the society first. Right, society. Few elements. See, again, society will not be drastically changed. Right, we already understand what type of society we had in Gupta Empire, what type of society we had before that. So we understand that trend. Right, this will continue. There is nothing you can say drastic, happening right now. But still, whatever Hyun Sang is observing, let's talk about that. Right, so Hyun Sang is observing that he saw that there are 4 divisions. Correct, 4 divisions. As per Hyun Sang, there are 4 divisions. Let's say as per Hyun Sang, there are 4 divisions. But still, there is a lot of social harmony. Just now we were discussing. Right, there is no clash as such. Right, there is no fight as such. Though there is like this division, but overall there is no clash. There are honest people. So he finds that our society is overall honest, very very honest. He also realized that few of the occupations, a few of the workers, they live outside. Like for example, fishermen, for example, butchers, they live outside the society. Like they don't live inside the town, but they live outside the town. The butchers and all, that they live outside the town. Right? So caste system, he's observing that it's a rigid caste system. Rigid caste system. That means they will not marry with each other, they will not dine with each other. That there's a rigid caste system, very very rigid, but still with harmony. Yeah, but still with harmony. So society, again, what system we are observing, that is something which you are expecting as the same system. Right? Women, if we talk about women, 2 things he's talking about. Women. He's saying Parda system is there. Parda is there. Right? Privilege. But higher caste, no. It's not there in higher caste. Why? Because he saw Rajeshri is not doing Parda. Rajeshri is not doing Parda. He should not forget that she's the princess. Right? Princess, it's her will, right? You can't ask princess to go do Parda. Right? So she is not doing Parda. So he is basically concluding from here that there is no Parda system. Other than that, we saw that Sati is already there. So Sati, we saw Yashomati committed Sati plus Rajeshri was also going to do Sati. Right? So Sati was prevalent. It's a common practice. Not everybody is doing it, but yes, we see a lot of examples of Sati over here. Okay, otherwise you find that just hear me out, right? Not need to write everything. But otherwise you find that the lifestyle is very very simple. People are wearing cotton and silk. Again, simple, that is basic, right? Cotton and silk. They are wearing ornaments of gold and silver. The king of the, you can say, empire will have extraordinary ornaments, will have bigger ornaments and all. Right? So this is something every king will be there, right? Everything will be wearing such kind of, you can say, expensive ornaments. So yes, this is we are expecting. Second, a lot of wealthy merchants are there. So merchants are usually wealthy, right? Again, nothing new. Plus these merchants are wearing bracelets, right? So a lot of expensive bracelets are being worn by the merchants, right? Plus women are applying cosmetics. Again, basic, every era, everywhere women will apply some cosmetic, and that is also basic. Okay, now, food, if we talk about food. So this is, maybe you can write this, and this is mostly a vegetarian society. Mostly vegetarian. So simple living, vegetarian food. Yeah, now again, this is also obvious. Reason, just now we have restricted the slaughtering of the animal. So animal eating will be less. People will eat fish and mutton, but very, very occasionally. That will be not a very prevalent thing. Every day you need chicken tikka. No, that is not the thing. And a very, very occasional consumption of meat will happen. Or also there will be like forbidden meat. So beef and all will be forbidden. Right, so there is the concept of forbidden meat also. Now again, very interesting. Onion and garlic and all. Onion garlic usage is low. Onion garlic, low usage. Right, why? Because it is expensive. Right, economy is not that great, so we can assume that onion garlic must be very expensive. Right, so people will not buy. Then sugar, ghee, milk, rice, basic things. They will eat sugar, milk, ghee, rice, etc., etc. Right, now let's come to our last point, the education. Right, so we're talking about Mahamoksha Parishad, socio-economic conditions. So we have discussed all this, and yeah, he has also spoken about Shudras. He said, and we discussed this point in Gupta's album. He said that Shudras now are agriculturists. Right, so their status has improved. This improvement had happened in the Gupta period itself. Right, so now that is being continued, and the Shudras' condition is improving. Right, now they are also allowed to read Puranas. Right, also they are also comparatively better situation is there. Okay, next, untouchables we had discussed. Yes, untouchables are also there. The number of untouchables are increasing. Untouchables are the ones who will be living outside the city. Right, untouchables. Plus caste system and all we are discussing, onion garlic, etc. Discussing this we have done. Last, Nalanda. So Nalanda, we will realize that Nalanda is known for Mahayana Buddhism. Yes, it's a very very famous, you can say, university, and not only from India, but a lot of students will be coming from outside India, from China, Central Asia, Southeast Asia. Right, then your Japan, Mongolia, Sri Lanka. Right, so from outside also we are getting a lot of students in this. So there are like 10,000 students in this. Right, 10,000 students, and 100 villages are allocated for the maintenance of this particular school. Right, so again, it's during Harshvardhan. During Harshvardhan, Nalanda is being headed by your Shailabhadra. He's from Assam. Shailabhadra. And there are some very very famous teachers teaching in this. One is Dharampala, Chandrapala. Right, plus Bhadrihari Jayasena. Bhadrihari Jayasena. Right, one more Divakar Matanga. M-A-T-A-N-G-A. Divakar Matanga. Yeah, so all these are your important teachers famous in Nalanda University. Right, so yeah, so this is all about Harshvardhan, right, Canal Assembly and all we have discussed. Right, it's saying later on he will also come and visit this Nalanda University, and it's will observe that here the numbers are around 3,000 students, and some 200 villages are allocated for the maintenance of, or basically for the upkeep of the Nalanda University. Right, okay, so Harsh has pattern of art, this topic is that. Again, as we see that Harshvardhan, we started our topic that Harshvardhan himself is a playwright. Right, he himself has written a lot of plays, 3 plays basically, which is very very famous. Two plays are Priyadarshika and Ratnavali, and if you remember, our Shah Rukh Khan, Udayan. Udayan, right? Both the plays are about him. And the third one is Nagananda, right? It is based on Jimutavahana. These are Bodhisattva, Nagananda. So Nagananda is about Jimutavahana. Other two are about your Udayan. So Udayan part we had already seen, right? And third one is Nagananda. Other than that, he has his court poet, Banabhatta. Yeah, the court poet Banabhatta. So Banabhatta has written this book Harshcharita. So Harshcharita is the major source of history. So along with Harshcharita, plus CUK, plus all the inscriptions, right? These are our major source of history. Now, Banabhatta is again a very, very famous poet, and he has not only written Harsha, that biography of Harsha, but also Kadambari, Parvati Parinayam, right? And there are like more authors, right? So, yeah, so this is all about Harshvardhan. We are done with Harshvardhan. The rest you can read. Yeah. So, traveler Yuan Shah. Okay, so try attending this question. Let's try doing both if we can do this. Only one batch. Okay, no issue. Chat is on. जो है okay. Okay, let's try this. The Chinese traveler Zunzang, who visited India, recorded. See, UPSC was also confused with the spelling. The Yuan Chang, Yuan Sang, they have written both the spelling. Something you will get. Right, who visited India, recorded the general conditions and cultures of India at that time. In this context, which of the following statement is correct? The roads and river routes are completely immune from robbery. We realize that he himself was robbed, and completely immune is like a very extreme statement. Okay, as regards punishment for offences, ordeals by fire, water. So see, ordeals by fire, water, etc. is given, and poison. What the instrument of determining the innocence or guilty of a person? The tradesman had to pay duty that ferries and value stations. Now, state tradesman had to do duty. This is the basic. Any big kingdom or a good kingdom will have this kind of pull. So third has to be there, right? Third cannot be denied. Now it is only second. Again, second ordeals by fire. If you know, so yes, it is also correct. Now the first one is the only issue. Completely immune, right? He himself was robbed. That completely immune is not possible. So yeah, so that part is wrong. So B option is correct. So those who have marked B, that is correct. Right? And remaining. Yeah, most of you have marked B only. Okay, good. Sampoorna had asked for Sampoorna. I'm also waiting for the response only. Right? And once I have the response, I will let you know, guys. So let's wait for some more time. Okay. Then with reference to the Indian history, now let's see how much did you get. Right? 2015 question about feudalism. Think about this. Read this question very, very carefully. Yeah, shall we? Done? Take a call, Neha. You cannot fill two bubbles. You have to say it. Okay, this is my final answer. Okay, great. Okay, let's see. So now the first, with reference to the Indian history, which of the following are the essential elements of the feudal system? So they want to understand how much you understand of feudal system. A very strong centralized political authority and a very weak provincial political authority. That means the whole power is concentrated at the center. Now that is a centralized political authority. No, feudal is feudal. Lord will have a lot of power. That means it cannot be a centralized political authority. So first option is wrong. The first is wrong. Then first is wrong. Then first is wrong. So three is automatically correct. Lord vassal relationship between the feudal lord and the lord. Yeah, of course. One will be Raja, then Maharaja. One will be Maharaja, then Maharaja, then Raja. Right? And so third is automatically correct now. Now it is all about second one. Now emergence of an administrative structure. Right? Read this statement very, very carefully. Emergence of administrative structure based on control and possession of land. So administrative structure based on control and possession of land. First of all, feudal lord will have some land under him. Plus, you are giving a lot of land grant. Now, when you give a land grant, that Brahman will become a small landlord, Brahman or officer, not only Brahman. Right, this he will become a small landlord because it is administration free, it is tax free, so it will be based upon land, yes, it will be based upon land, and the second is also correct. Right, logically you could do that. Okay, a lot of you got this, so option B, 2 and 3, very good. Okay, third question. From the decline of Gupta, see, this is 2021. From the decline of Gupta under the rise of Harshvardhana in the early 7th century, which of the following kingdoms were holding power in the northern India? 2021. Now, this is just about recognition, nothing else. They have not asked Yashovarman, etc., etc. Right, simply. So now the point is, if they have reached this spot where once they have taken the name of, let's say, Pushyabutis or Bokharis or Matrakas or Yadavas, etc., etc. Now, in no time they will ask another question. They will go deeper. Are you getting my point? They will go deeper. Next time they will ask about somebody, maybe Drusena, maybe Grahavarman, maybe Shanvarman. Right, because that makes sense. Now UPSC has declared, okay, this is the level. Now we should at least recognize them. Now this is done and understood. Now we need to move deeper. Now we need to know something about them. Are you getting my point? Now that is right, pretty obvious. And next question when UPSC asks, it will be next layer deeper. Right, B, and now it is obvious, we just studied this. Right, so B is 1, 3, 4, 6. The Guptas, Pushyabutis, Mokharis, Matrakas. Right. Options are thinking how you use it. Okay, next, anything else? Okay. So yeah, in the end, I have also added my original mind maps in this. Right, see if this helps you. If you are not able to read what is written over here, right, in that case, please make your own. Right, and this is my handwriting, and this is only I can't help beyond this. Right, and I made it for you all only, but some of you will not be able to understand the handwriting. So my suggestion is please make it yourself. Yeah, okay. So you can use these mind maps for revision or for your studies. Okay, so thanks a lot, guys. But let's discuss some doubts and all. Right, I take doubts. Yeah, okay. So yeah, tell me. Sampurna, I'm also waiting for the update with respect to Sampurna. Ancient Sampurna is already there. You can download it from your notice section, as far as I know. Right, it must be there in your notice section. Okay, I'll post in the Telegram channel as well. Cool. Okay. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. And please do see right now. Today we have studied only 4 dynasties, right? But gradually the number of dynasties in medieval time will keep on increasing, right? So please do revise, do create command. But otherwise this will go out of hand. Right, by the end we'll finish medieval. There will be like 50 dynasties, too much far, right? But if you categorize, if you assimilate on the daily basis, it will be very easy, very simple. Yeah, worshipper of Shiva are called Shaivites, worshipper of Vishnu are called Vaishnavites. Yeah, if I use that term, yes. Main question will come basically from the culture of the part, right? It will be basically from the culture. It might be with respect to religion. It might be with respect to how the question, which main question can be framed from our discussion, will be how you can say how Buddhism was supported in the reign of Harshavardhana, right? Something like that would be, yes. Coinage of Vardhan not very important. It is again similar to that trend only, Western Kshatriya point, right? It is similar to that only. Initially we saw his coinage. There is nothing special in it. Sampurna notes and Devi notes are same. No, Sampurna notes are like comprehensive books, right? Yeah, we have started medieval history. The A part we are discussing the A part right now. Sampurna is not done. Harsha and Pulkesin 2. Pulkesin 2 will come tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we'll talk about Pulkesin 2. I've not introduced Pulkesin 2 yet. Right? We just discussed that Harsha lost to him. Yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, then see you again tomorrow. Right? We'll continue our discussion. Tomorrow we'll talk about Chalukyas and Pallavas. Chanakya survived from Mauryan to Ashoka. It's tough to comment if he has survived because it is said that while Ashoka was the kid, right? He was guided by Chanakya, but not later. Yeah. Cutting off limbs is basically naming. Dharampal is head of Nalanda. Okay, check again, right? Let me know if you are right.